Listen, man, no one's gonna tell you this, but I will. What you're about to hear is not the sweet lie most men tell themselves to numb the sting of rejection. It's the raw truth you've been running from. Because right now, I know exactly what's going through your head. She pulled away, she got distant, she grew cold, and every part of you is screaming to do something, to block her and prove you don't care, to beg her to stay, to chase her until she remembers the good in you. But all of that is weakness disguised as action. Blocking isn't strength, begging isn't love, and chasing isn't persistence. They're all symptoms of the same disease, the disease of a man who has forgotten his own gravity. You think blocking her will make her miss you, but it only shows that she still controls your emotions. You think begging will remind her of your love, but it only shows that your self-worth is in her hands. You think chasing her will prove your devotion, but it only proves that without her validation, you collapse. And I'm telling you this because I've been there. I felt the panic in my chest, the endless refresh of the phone screen, the sickening thought that if I don't do something right now, I'll lose her forever. And every time I acted on that desperation, I lost more of myself than I ever lost of her. You see, a woman isn't repelled by your love. She's repelled by your dependence. She's not turned off by your affection. She's turned off by the invisible chain you wrap around her neck when you need her to breathe. That's why she pulls back. Not always because she doesn't care, but because she needs to feel that you're a man who stands on his own 2 feet, even in the storm. The more you chase, the more she runs. The more you beg, the more she loses respect. The more you block from spite, the more she sees that you are still reacting to her, not leading yourself. So what do you do instead? You hold your frame. You stay still when everything in you wants to explode. You let her feel the silence, not because you're playing games, but because you are truly grounded in yourself. You stop needing her and you start choosing her. And if she chooses you back, it's because she feels your strength, not your weakness. If she doesn't, you don't collapse, because you were whole before her and you will be whole after her. Emotional detachment doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean being a robot. It means feeling the sting of her absence and refusing to let it dictate your actions. It means watching your phone light up with nothing from her and still breathing calmly, still staying on your mission, still refusing to hand your dignity over to someone who doesn't even know what she wants. Detachment is not the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. It's when you can feel the fire of rejection in your chest and still sit in silence, unshaken, like a mountain that doesn't move just because the wind howls around it. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop reacting, the moment you stop scrambling to hold her, is the moment she feels you slipping through her fingers. That's when she starts asking herself questions she never asked before. Why isn't he chasing me? Why isn't he begging? Has he moved on? Who else has his attention? That silence, that calm stillness is louder than 1,000 texts. And it only works when it's real, not when you fake it, not when you sit by the phone pretending not to care. It works when you've actually redirected all that energy back into yourself, into your body, your mind, your mission. That's when she feels the gravity. That's when she realizes she doesn't have you trapped, and that's when the chase flips. But whether she comes back or not is not the point. The point is that you've stopped living like a man who needs permission to exist. You've stopped giving her control of your inner world. And once you taste that freedom, once you see yourself standing calm and tall in the middle of her storms, you'll never go back to begging, blocking, or chasing. So listen to me carefully, because this is the core truth you've got to burn into your chest. If you collapse when she pulls away, you don't just lose her, you lose yourself. You lose the part of you that was built to endure, the part of you that could have stood tall, the part of you that could have walked through fire without breaking. The man you could have been dies a little every time you throw yourself at someone who is walking away. And the cruel reality is this: the more you break yourself down in front of her, the harder it becomes for her to see the man she was once drawn to. You strip away the mystery, the composure, the weight of your presence. You reduce yourself from a man she could respect into a boy she has to console. And no woman is wired to chase a boy who has collapsed into his own desperation. You see, distance is inevitable. pullbacks are inevitable. Every woman at some point will withdraw, will test, will retreat into her emotions. And in those moments, what she's really asking, without saying a word, is this: are you still the man I thought you were, or were you just acting? And when you crumble, when you beg, when you block in anger, when you spiral into chaos, you answer that question for her. You show her you were only strong when she was close. You show her your calm was only borrowed from her attention, and that's when her respect slips away for good. But if you stand still, if you breathe through the ache in your chest, if you let the silence stretch without filling it with your panic, something powerful happens. She begins to feel your absence, and not just your absence, your strength. Because it takes strength to do nothing when your entire body screams at you to act. It takes strength to sit in silence when every insecure part of you wants to shout. And it takes strength to remain calm when the ground beneath you feels like it's cracking. That strength is what she feels, even from a distance. And here's the paradox. The silence you hold is not punishment, it's not a tactic, it's not some cheap trick to get her running back. It is simply the reflection of a man who knows that he doesn't abandon himself for anyone. And in that silence, her mind starts to shift. Why isn't he breaking down? Why isn't he chasing? Does he not care anymore? Has he found someone else? Or is he simply stronger than I thought? That's the power of restraint. That's the gravity of a man who doesn't fold. She will either come back on her own, pulled not by your begging but by your strength, or she won't. And if she doesn't, you will still be whole. That's the truth most men never learn. That the real win is not in getting her back, but in never losing yourself trying to keep her. The man who doesn't collapse under distance is the man she respects, whether she returns or not. Because respect, brother, is the foundation of attraction. A woman can't love you if she doesn't respect you, and she can't respect you if you show her you have no spine when tested. That's why this moment, this pullback, this silence, this ache you feel right now is not the end. It's the test, and your response decides everything. So don't block, don't beg, don't chase, stand still. Let her feel the silence, not as punishment, but as proof that your world doesn't orbit her moods. Root yourself in your mission so deeply that nothing she does can pull you off course. Because silence, when it comes from strength, is louder than 1,000 desperate words. And once you master that silence, once you taste the power of knowing you're whole, with or without her, you'll never again need to beg for noise from anyone. And when you're ready to go deeper into this, into the psychology of her tests, into how attraction lives and dies in these exact moments, into how every pullback can either destroy a weak man or forge an unshakable one, watch the next video. Because once you understand that, brother, you won't just see women differently, you'll see yourself differently. And that shift will never leave you.